All right. I think we're rolling. All right, cool. Looks like it worked. I'm not really good with this. I use OBS, and I'm not the greatest with this software. I'm pretty new to it, so it seems simple, but it's actually more complicated than it looks. As you can see, I didn't even have time today to switch it up. I still have the template for baseball. We're looking at NBA totals and NBA spreads on a home plate over here on the left, and then I have a spot here for starting pitchers. And it says, I just put the team's best player because I didn't know what else to put there. We're using MLB templates. Oh, you know what I could do? Maybe put the pie chart up here. Maybe people could see it better. Whatever, who cares? Let's just wait another like 30 seconds for people to filter in. Get Mets off the screen here. I'm assuming, because it seems like people found it, that it was pretty easy to hop over to the other one. All right. So, I don't really love the totals tonight. Give you full disclosure. I'm leaning over in the first one, but it's just a lean. It's not even going to be on the ticket. So, first game, I'm back on the Sixers. Yes, even at 10. And we'll start there. I have props to add to. So in game one, both of these teams shot excellent from the floor. The Brooklyn Nets shot 55.7% from the floor as a team. That's impressive. Both teams were also red hot from deep. Nets were 44.8% from three. Philly shot 48.8% from three. So you would think that the Sixers are due for some negative regression in the outside shooting department. And maybe they will a little, but did you watch game one? Because that number should have even been higher. The Sixers missed so many wide open shots. They shot 48.8% from three. That number should have been even higher with the amount of wide open shots they hit. Brooklyn came out and were immediately double teaming. I'm sure everyone was talking about it. Immediately double teaming Embiid as soon as he touched the ball. Every single time. And it didn't work at all. Guys like Harden and Maxey, they had a ton of space to work with, and it was just easy bucket after easy bucket for Philly. I'm not the kind of person that pretends I know more about basketball than an NBA head coach. Obviously, Jacques Vaughn knows infinitely more than I do. That being said, I really disagree with that strategy. The offense for Philly looked so easy. I think they should have came out and did what the Hawks did to the Sixers 2 years ago. If you remember with Nate McMillan, when Embiid got the ball, they didn't throw a double team at him right away. They waited a couple seconds till he put the ball on the floor, till he got into his set, and then it was like a delayed blitz almost. I'm sure there's a basketball term for that, but it was like a delayed double team. That had some success. This immediately double team Embiid as soon as he touched the ball did not work, and I expect the Nets to get out of that. Which is why I know we cashed Embiid's under 33.5 points in game one. I wouldn't bet that again. In fact, if you want to bet Embiid's point total, I would lean over. I think the Nets are actually going to let him work a little bit. I mean, wouldn't you do the same? If you're the Nets, at this point, after what you just saw, let Embiid try to beat you. I mean, obviously, Embiid is good as shit, one of the best players in the league, but he's had history of struggling in playoff games before. Why not at least let him beat you? Let him go out and make these shots. That's how I would play it, and I expect the Nets to do a little bit more than that. So if you want to throw Embiid's over on there, I'm not. The props I went with... anyway, let me finish my notes, and then I'll put the props up. The only concern I have for the Sixers, all my notes here, the rest, I have 4 more. 3 of them are in favor of Philly. This is the only one that concerns me for Philly. Philly won the turnover battle 20-9 in game one. The Nets are not a team that turns the ball over a lot. In fact, since the All-Star break, they're 11th in turnover rate. So I expect the Nets to do a better job protecting the ball. That's the only regression from game one that I expect to go towards Brooklyn. The rest, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson combined to go 19 of 29 from the floor and 6 of 10 from three. Very unlikely that they can keep performing at that level. Another one in favor of Philly. So the Sixers out-rebounded the Nets 38-35. They're just barely out-rebounded them. Nets are one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. So I know some people may look at that and be like, oh, the Nets could rebound better in game 2. No, the Nets were lucky to even get close. I bet Philly out-rebounds them by at least 10 in this game. I'm expecting another very comfortable... I'm expecting even a more comfortable victory for the Sixers in this one. Obviously, I don't love that we're laying 10, but... props. This one comes from Prop Beaver, and he called me to tell me to say it. So he must really like it. PJ Tucker, over 5.5 rebounds and assists. He posted it on Twitter, so it's at plus money, plus 104. He posted it on Twitter, so if you follow him on Twitter, you already saw this. His notes basically go in line with what I just said about how bad the Nets are at rebounding. One of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. And not just that, if you break it down even more specifically, they're terrible at allowing rebounds to power forwards. That's such a Prop Beaver stat. But I read that right off his notes. So he likes that one. The one I put on was... All right, I'm putting it on. I think he'll have a much worse night shooting the ball. My only concern would be... You know what? Let's put it over here so people can see everything. My only concern would be volume. Like, I'm a little worried that he takes 35 shots. But I'm going to play Mikal Bridges under 26.5 points. I like Mikal Bridges a lot. My net fan friends, I was trying to tell you should be pumped for this guy. That being said, Doc Rivers clearly saw that this is the only man on the roster that can beat them. That's a little harsh to say, but let's call it what it is. I expect the Sixers to not give him any space. I'm thinking like 6 of 22 from the floor for Bridges tonight. I'm not seeing any comments. I hope people can see this. Oh, no, here we go. Nets plus 10. I see it. All right. I think the comments just aren't coming up on the screen here. Let me type this real quick. Test. Anyway, so I'll just keep going. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So yeah, that's what it, and that's it for this game. I also had, like I said, I would lean over at 212 and a half, but with the line movement, this total opened up at 216 and a half. So for them to drop it 4 points, I mean, obviously that means they're trying to draw in more action on the over, and I don't want to be that sucker that does exactly what they're trying to get me to do, but I could see the Sixers scoring 115, 120 in this game. What makes it hard to make a case that it stays under 212 and a half. So that's what I'm thinking for that game. No, people can hear me. Go on. Yeah, see, someone here likes the under. I mean, obviously, so do the odds makers. Drop 4 whole points. I would lean over. I didn't put the over on the ticket, though. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Warriors at Kings. I don't know what the public is really thinking here. You can see from the pie chart and putting it up top. Public's all over Golden State. This is one of the most public playoff plays I've ever seen. Usually, the playoffs, you get people on both sides. Everyone's on Golden State here. I mean, what am I missing? In my opinion, we saw both teams play a great game. It's not like Golden State was slacking a little bit. They played great. And, I mean, defensively, was it a perfect game? No, but it was pretty good. The Kings' shot-making ability was out of control. The Kings were playing out of their minds. And in my honest opinion, I thought we saw both of these teams play great games, and the Kings won. So I'm going to ride the Kings again. I decided in the closing seconds, before the Kings actually won, they were up like 2 with a minute left or something, and I decided I was betting the Kings. I was like, you know what? The Golden State came out and they played a great game. It wasn't their normal laid an egg on the road performance. They played great, and the Kings still played well enough to win. So I'm backing them again. They made me a believer. Let me go over here. So, like, some of the narratives surrounding this, like, what did we see in Game 1 that you think is an anomaly here? The Kings out-rebounded Golden State. Okay. Well, the Kings are a much better rebounding team than Golden State. They'll probably out-rebound them again. The turnover margin, in fact, should go the other way. Kings won the turnover battle by a slim margin. It was 15-13. Kings are a much better team as far as turnover margin goes than Golden State. It's probably going to be even greater in Game 2. Like, Steph Curry shoots 6 of 14 from 3. People are like, Steph was cold. He'll get hot in Game 2. Cold? He shot 42.8% from 3. His season average is 42.7%. He actually shot above his season average. That was a great game from the Warriors, and they still fell short. What's going to happen if they come out and Steph isn't hot? Steph has an off game or Klay has an off game. I think the Kings win comfortably. Now, to be fair, Sacramento played out of their minds. And, of course, Fox could be cold. De'Aaron Fox would just as likely be cold as Steph or Klay. But one huge factor, Sabonis was pretty awful in game one. He had a good game. He had like 16 rebounds, but 5 of 17 from the floor with 4 turnovers. He looked very uncomfortable out there. I fully expect him to have a bounce-back game. And if we see the exact same performances that we saw the other night, and Sabonis has a good game, I think the Kings could win this comfortably. I think the Kings could win this by 10. Am I going to be surprised if Golden State comes down and win? Of course not. I think this is by far, on a talent standpoint, this might be the best series that we have to work with in round one. But these teams, that was a great game the other night. Props for this game. I actually am going to play this total. Let's put it up here. I'm sorry the comments aren't coming up here. Usually I can interact with the comments. I have to go to another screen to see them. So I'm playing the over, which is super square, but it's at 239.5. So it's not like they're giving us a layup here. So I'm playing the over. I'm also playing Sabonis is over. 18.5 points. Wow. Yes, it's juiced to minus 130, but still 18.5 points. This guy can get busy down low, and they need him. I mean, they cannot rely on De'Aaron Fox to go God mode every single fourth quarter. That was crazy. The other prop I have, I'm taking Draymond's over PRAs too. Dude, he had 4 points, only 4 points in game one, but he had like 11 assists, 9 rebounds. So I expect them to score. And this one was at I think it was minus 112 or something. So yeah, those are my plays for this one. Kings over, Sabonis over, Draymond over PRAs. That's what I'm rocking with. Yeah, Monk did go crazy. Yeah, Monk did go nuts off the bench, but if all the weight you could put into that, you could also put into Sabonis bouncing back. I think it's just as likely for one of Golden State's guys to be cold. Steph, Klay, Wiggins, I mean, they all had pretty solid days shooting the ball. Chances are one of them is going to be cold. I'm not kicking down the door to get you to tell me on this one. I completely get it if you want to bet Golden State, but the public all over the Warriors just makes me... At first, I was like, I'm going to bet the Kings. We'll see how it goes. Now that everyone's betting Golden State, it kind of makes me a little more confident. But yeah, I'm on the Kings here over and these two props. All right. Damn, got through that pretty quick. All right, thank you very much for watching. Tickets being posted up. I have a couple SGBs. That'll be posted up in literally 10 minutes. As soon as I end this stream, I'm going to post it. If you guys need anything, reach out to me on Twitter. Let's have a good night.